In this podcast, you get a real-life glimpse into a student's transformation. I take you into the actual coaching sessions, week by week, and you can see the student's progress in real time. So without further ado, here is AGL Live.
I felt like we talked about it, I felt like a lot more outcome dependent when I was in Vegas and right as I came back.
Yeah, it's probably because of like the people you're around. It's like primarily focused on pickup stuff. So
Yeah. I've been going out with Brian most of the time these days. I kind of stopped hanging out with the rest of the Honeysuckle people.
with the other guys.
Yeah, I'm really just trying to be really selective. Keep going out. So there's like Brian, and then there's this other guy that recently joined the inner circle. Who I kind of vibe well with. So it's pretty. Yeah, we've been going out. I also tried like going salsa dancing with him. Just trying different stuff.
Yeah. How was that?
And it was fun. It's kind of like easy to crush it, like on pickup venues.
Yeah.
Just going to fucking Playland, like bars every night. It was fun, and then like we ended up like Uber pulling back to his house. And on the way there, in the Uber, we met this girl, and then you wanna come? Like we're just gonna drink some wine, have the after party, and then she was like, all right.
Yeah.
So we came back to his house, and then he like had a rooftop, so we went up, and then like had a fucking sick ass view. We just drank wine, and then
This is at Brian's place or the other
no,
guy?
the other
new guy?
Kyle.
Okay.
So we had a good time, and then like I felt like he had a better chance because it was his place. So I just like, my girlfriend's like waiting for me right there, so let's go, and then I just like dipped.
Yeah.
And then he's pretty new to like pickup stuff too, so like he never didn't make a move.
Okay.
But it was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good experience anyway.
Yeah.
Now, what did you get from that experience in particular?
It felt amazing just giving my homie a chance.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like the polling part itself, does it seem like a lot more accessible? Like, I mean, a lot more within your reality?
Yeah.
Like before...
I heard about the Uber pool, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's try it.
Yeah, like before last month, would
Yeah.
it have been like way more inconceivable for you to do that, or?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's good. It's like starting to realize a lot of these things, it's not such a big deal, or not as big of a deal as you think it is. So.
Oh, it really isn't. And hanging out with Brian, like, it's funny, like, those guys I think like, to be like gods. I used to think Brian was like fucking unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Start to see like a little bit of flaws.
Yeah.
And it makes me, I think it makes us relationship more like friendship.
Yeah.
Than like me trying to follow him.
I think that's the main thing, is like being able to see and relate to people on a different level, like more on a peer-to-peer level. Especially when it comes to girls. Like if you meet girls that are attractive and you thought they were this, like a 10 or whatever, you start to actually get to know them, you realize that
But yeah, Brian, he's been very like unhappy in SF because just like seeing Vegas, I think like kind of tripped him up. He just likes the girls here way better, and like he thinks San Francisco girls are like not very attractive, but then at the same time have like high self-esteem because like I mean like not self-esteem but like ego. Because of like the status and like all the validation they get from like off ratio.
Yeah, I wrote an article about that actually. Like the value, like perceived value versus the actual value or whatever. Yeah. In terms of attractiveness, like a girl from like small town Kansas who could be a stunning girl would perceive herself to be a lot lower value than she would in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Whereas like a much less attractive girl would think that she's way more attractive.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's actually like it's more difficult, or it's like it's different starting conversations with each one.
Yeah.
Like if you go more direct and like more romantic and stuff to that small town girl, she's gonna be more receptive to it. But for a girl who's been validated over and over, she doesn't want to be complimented at all straight up front.
Yeah.
Typically, because it's like, oh, she's heard it all before. She automatically categorizes you as that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So that's why like Luke's style of like break and report up front, that's why it works for like really attractive girls. Because they're not used to that necessarily, or it signals that you're a certain type of guy. It signals that you're not like that guy that's just gonna compliment them and be like really sweet all the time.
Yeah.
Just for their looks.
Yeah.
So that's definitely noticeable. I noticed that too in San Francisco. It's like, well, I mean, I was only there for like 2 nights, or 3 nights, but like I noticed that the girls there were a little bit more stuck up.
Really?
Like relative to like their appearance or I guess their quality or whatever.
I still don't get that scale. It doesn't really register in my mind. I feel like they're all the same here or there. I mean, the girls are definitely hotter here. I noticed that. But like in terms of like more being receptive, I don't know.
Yeah, receptivity. I'd say here it feels kind of the same in Vegas actually.
Yeah.
You get a mixed bag. It depends on where you go out or what time of year you go out, because it's like people internationally traveling quite a bit. But in LA, it's definitely noticeable, and if you go to Europe, it's also noticeable.
LA? How's LA?
LA is super stuck up, and it's like more extreme than San Francisco, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Although the girls are hotter, but it's like really difficult to. I mean, you could talk to them, but at the same time, they get really offended really easily.
With like breaking report and shit?
Just in general, like little things that you wouldn't think that they would get offended about.
Yeah.
They just like stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Kind of responses.
Yeah.
Especially about like fashion or like their careers. They're really uptight about that sort of thing.
Really?
So I've noticed, yeah.
Are there places that are not stuck up?
Yeah, I'd say like.
I bet it's just a general trend in like in the world right now. I don't know.
I think cosmopolitan areas in particular, where appearances are valued very highly, tends to be more stuck up. Whereas like if you go to a city in the Midwest or something, then probably be less so.
Think so?
Yeah.
Have you experienced it yourself?
When I was in Dallas, it was different. It was actually way easier in Dallas.
Really?
To talk to girls, yeah. Because there's a southern hospitality. Midwestern people in general are like that too.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that if you went to Chicago or something, or some other Midwestern city, that'd be similar.
Huh.
I definitely experienced it in Europe. That was incredibly noticeable. When I went to Scandinavia and Sweden, it was, I mean, anything that you did, they wouldn't care, and they would still be super friendly to you. Yeah. And so you start, like, after you do that for a little while, you start to feel entitled because you're like, oh, I can do anything, they're gonna love me.
Yeah.
And then they're, like, really compliant and everything. You feel like a god, basically, when you're over there.
Really?
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
And yesterday was really fucking fun. It's kind of weird because Brian, like, I think he wants to be outcome independent.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's outgoing independent, but then like I see these cues of him being kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Like when rejected or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like small subtle cues, just like laughing.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that.
Right.
So I definitely sense it.
Mm-hmm. I think anytime you go out and pick up context, that's gonna happen quite naturally.
Yeah.
Anytime you're out to just like try to pick up girls, then in spite of the fact that you might be like really experienced in everything and maybe you're pretty outcome independent to a certain extent, like if you're going out to pick up girls, then that's gonna creep in.
Yeah.
Kevin's a good example of someone who's like really, really outcome independent in spite of the fact that he does pickup.
Yeah.
But when he goes out, he's not really focused on the pickup. Like he's focused on just fucking around for the most part.
Yeah.
And pickup's sort of secondary to that.
Yeah. And I think his attitude definitely like wears on me a little bit too. But then he also has a lot of fun. So it balances out.
Yeah, I'm sure he's more outcome independent than the average person.
Oh yeah,
way more. Yeah, it's just about like ratcheting up, like getting to that, just associating yourself with a certain echelon of people.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest thing that helped me improve. Was having like Kevin as a roommate, and then also some of the friends that were coaches.
Yeah.
And just like always being around them.
Yeah.
I didn't know it at the time, but it happened incidentally.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
And
looking back,
this week was kind of special because I got to meet Brian's mentor. He's Nate. His name is Nate.
He's like
his minotaur.
Okay.
So he does like he does a weed business. He sells like medical marijuana too.
Okay. That
like
seems
Nevada,
pretty...
California, and like some other state. And he's like a fucking millionaire.
Okay.
And he actually invited Brian here this week, and Brian wanted to come with me. So we just like, fuck it, let's just go again.
Yeah.
And we just went on this crazy adventure.
Okay. Nice.
And yeah, I just got to hear from him a lot Thursday at SF and here last night.
Yeah.
He was very much like Derek.
Okay.
He's very much like, he's so focused on the goal that girls are just side story of his life.
Yeah. But so what's like his backstory? Basically, he started this weed business or something and became successful. Yeah. Was he into pickup first? Anything like that, or?
I don't know. I didn't really hear his backstory much.
So he's Brian's mentor when it comes to money, or when it comes to women?
I think anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was interesting hearing from him. I asked, like, were you always the self-entitled, like, when you were, like, when you didn't have so much money?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, yeah, I guess, even when I didn't have money, like, I was so focused on getting rich.
Yeah.
That was the only thing he was thinking about.
I actually think that the mindset comes first.
Yeah.
Like you actually become wealthy before you're actually wealthy.
Yeah.
In your mind. I just noticed that as a trend. I mean, I haven't experienced it for myself yet, but like, that's just a trend that I've noticed from different interviews with different people.
Yeah.
Especially when I watch ones with like Conor McGregor or people that really invest in the law of attraction ideas.
Right.
And yeah, I've been listening to like a lot of Conor McGregor stuff. It's really interesting.
Huh.
He just says, I mean, it's super simple. He just says, like, if you can visualize it, and if you can say it, then you can achieve it. And that's really it. It's like a 3-step process.
You can say it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, so like you visualize it first, and then you can say it out loud, like an affirmation, or you say it out loud to people. Because Conor would say, like, I'm going to be a UFC title champion.
Yeah.
That was before he was even professional or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he just would say that to people, and he would say it to himself, and then eventually just becomes a reality.
Right.
It's like so instilled in your subconscious that everything, I think part of it is like you start to see opportunities in your daily life that you wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you learn a new word, you start to hear that word all the time. It's like your RAS or whatever is focused in on that. So it's like you start to look at the world from a different perspective. And a good example is like when we went to that conference. There's one guy who was talking about high ticket webinars, and I hadn't thought about it before. And had I not been focused on a goal, like I have a goal to make like $20K a month. Had I not been focused on that goal, like I probably wouldn't have listened to his advice very carefully. But now that's shaped the way I've pursued my marketing strategy. So it's like you start to see different opportunities based on where you're going.
What else did I do this week? So it's slowly coming to an end, like somewhere in Berkeley. So
yeah.
And my professor was like, "Oh, so I didn't get the job that I thought I was gonna get. That was gonna get me paid."
Okay.
So it's kind of in the air if I'm gonna stay there. Like after I come back from Korea now.
Okay.
And it kind of like gives me like a little bit of nervousness. I actually canceled a flight to make sure I have a place to come back to when I come back. Because I'm on this after post visa program where I need to have some kind of volunteer or internship or a job all the time when I'm in US. And if I don't have it for at least 3 months, the privilege gets revoked. So I'm gonna be in Korea for 2 months at least doing rehab, and when I come back, that gives me like months to find it if I don't have a job by then. So I want to like really secure it before I go back to Korea.
Yeah.
So I'm like contacting different professors and like seeking opportunities right now. So it gives me like a little bit of more motivation to like hustle to see what's available.
Yeah.
And I've also been so over time like I became more and more confused with what I wanted to do in science. Just recently being exposed to you and like just like my financial life and like what kind of impact I want to have in the world. I kind of decided I might not want to do like ecology or evolutionary science. Like I want to keep an option open. Yeah.
Okay. So you're thinking. What were you thinking instead?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
And I talked to one of the grad students in my lab. He's a very smart guy too. He was saying like grad school is designed to hurt you, just to like test you if you can make it out of this academic career.
Yeah.
So you really have to know what you want to do for 6 years and not be stressed out. I mean, you're gonna get stressed out, but it's worth the stress.
Yeah.
And he said if you can't tell like straight face what you want to do for 6 years, like you should rethink your options. And I think that's exactly where I'm at right now. So I might not even apply for grad school this year, which I thought I was going to do. My parents are going to hate me for that. And yeah, so I'm just like exploring options right now. It's like different fields. I'm looking at like different fields in biology. I thought I was never going to do like molecular biology, but I'm like looking into that too. Just like hitting up different professors in the campus.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at some different like books written for the public to see what kind of roles different field of biology like play in the society. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always thought like it's kind of a weird feeling because I always thought I was going to do ecology and like conservation, evolutionary biology stuff, but I think it comes from it came from a wrong place sometimes.
Like what kind of place?
Just being really hurt by like all those situations I've been involved in, like doing like environmental activism.
Mm-hmm.
Like just that kind of like negative thought that like wealth is bad and like everyone's trying to like fuck us over, so I gotta like save it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say if it's coming from a place of more like inspiration,
Yeah.
where it's more positive, then that's a good path to follow. But
Yeah.
if it's purely from like a place of, I don't know, like spite and getting back at people and things like that, then it's not going to be rewarding. It's like you're going to be chasing an endless tail, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought I was going to do that forever in my life. Then now I'm in more like an exploratory mindset.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary, but then also like also exciting, I guess.
Yeah. I went through that too. After I graduated, I was pretty committed to like going to econ grad school until my last year, and I just changed everything. I was like, I don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I started taking philosophy classes, and I dropped my econ major.
Yeah.
And just like I worked for a little bit for like a year, just postponed grad school.
Yeah.
Then I went to grad school. I was like, I don't really like it. And I went back to work. So I actually did like it, but I didn't see myself doing that like as my thing. I didn't see that as being the path for me.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed my classes though. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah.
And actually, like after living in Vegas and going out all the time, I was way better at expressing my ideas than I would have been if I had just gone straight to grad school. Because it was actually motivated by life experience. And plus, like, a lot of times people in classes, they're very hesitant when they're expressing their ideas.
Yeah.
Partially because they haven't had the experience in life, but another part is just because of their communication skills. It's so, like...
That's, like, one thing I hate about academia, just, like, people there are, like, the classic chills people talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that, where they feel like they have to sound smart when they're talking or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ego thing, yeah, it's like an identity thing. I mean,
Yeah.
occasionally there would be some, like, legitimately, like, authentic people who would express really amazing ideas.
Yeah.
And I respected those people, but there's also that, like, air of properness, I guess.
Yeah. So I've been thinking, like, if I don't get the job in Berkeley, like, and I get my the OPT revoked, I think I'm just gonna, like, I think I'll be fine with it. Just because I kind of want to, like, broaden the scope, like, the scale of, like, where I want to live now. Like, if I don't end up living in the U.S., like, I don't think I would really care.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, another reason why I want to stay in the U.S. so much is because, like, just being familiar with the culture and, like, the girls, I guess. But then I kind of, like, I've been having this kind of revolution, like, maybe girls aren't the best thing to chase around. And, like, yeah, slowly beginning to, like, realize, like, it's because from, like, all the past fucked up experience, I want to chase girls. But then...
Yeah, they can definitely be part of your life, but I don't think it's good to chase necessarily. Like, to make girls the primary focus, it's just going to drive them away.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not. And if you do get to the skill level where you're able to, like, retain them, it's still, it's weird. It's like, since it's a skill, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to identify with it, but it's not really who you are.
Yeah.
It's a really ambiguous way of putting it, but I've seen it with certain people.
And I think I'm coming to a point, like, where, like, it's kind of funny because I don't have any results to show, but then, like, I'm coming to a point where I feel like I can just focus on my work as hard as I was in college, but also have that kind of gamey lifestyle where I would just go out with, like, my good wings.
Mm-hmm.
and just fucking pimp it.
Yeah.
But then like during the whole weekdays, like Monday to Friday, I could just like fucking delve down into what I'm studying and like not do anything else.
Yeah, I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
To have that balance.
Yeah. So I feel like I could live the college life, like the intensity of academic life again, but then not get sucked into that like negative mindset about like being in scarcity mode as I was in college.
Yeah. I think a lot of times like the judgment as well. You judge yourself on it, then it's also going to bring you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's for sure possible. Just like working hard and then also going out. Like when you're going out, you're actually like really engaged in taking action.
Yeah. So I think it's going in the healthy direction overall.
So what are your goals now before you go to Korea?
Definitely I want to finish all the goals I set up for the summer.
So it's like the GRE thing and
GRE, and I want to finish the population genetics course material, and like I don't necessarily believe in it. Like that's gonna help me in the long run right now, because my mindset's changed a little bit. But I just want to finish it for the sake of it.
What do you think would help you the most?
I want to create I need to create the channel. I actually shot a video yesterday in front of a fashion show mall.
Okay.
While Brian was filming his thing. I'm gonna make another one, but it kind of motivated me more to like do it.
Yeah. I'd say like just make the channel like as soon as possible.
Yeah.
If you make it today, I mean, all it takes is signing up in YouTube, making a channel, posting the video.
I don't want that to be my first video.
You have to start somewhere. Like the faster you post it, the faster you're gonna get better.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you wait,
even if it's a shitty shit thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was listening to this podcast and they're talking about how if you're not embarrassed by your first product, then you released it too late.
Oh, okay.
So you should be embarrassed by your first product, like the first version of your product.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you waited too long.
Okay.
Because that's like pushing your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you first start approaching, like the first girl you talk to, it's probably not going to go to. I mean, like generally doesn't usually go too well. It's like really awkward or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like jumping in the deep end. Like it's getting yourself started. So that's exactly what it's like. You could always change it later. But what really matters is like taking action, speed of implementation.
Okay.
That's one major thing I learned actually in life. It's just like the faster you jump in, the faster you start like putting stuff out there, the better you're gonna get, like quicker.
Yeah. What else did I want to talk about?
So the YouTube channel. And then what were you interested in doing for the YouTube channel?
I made a video. I want to start a channel about like young scientists trying to share ideas on how to like be a successful scientist and be a happy person in a scientific career. So it's kind of like self-development and science.
Okay.
Combined. Yeah.
Is it going to be for like academic scientists or just scientists in general?
What do you mean?
Like grad school or like grad students and professors, or is it going to be?
It's going to be more like high schoolers, college students,
okay,
and even grad students. Yeah, I wanted to like give some ideas about like how I think what's important to like find your path in the field, or like if you have a field you thought you were gonna do it forever, like myself, then like something else. To really like be able to ask that questions, if like that's really something what I want to do.
Yeah.
If he's coming from the right mindset. And
I'd say like the major tip in terms of marketing or whatever, like getting your message out there, the best thing you can do is like really visualize the ideal person you're talking to. That's one thing that Owen does really well in his YouTube videos that you can tell is different from the way a lot of other YouTubers do it, is that he's always talking to you. Like, you always feel like he's talking to you. It's because he's visualizing a person on the other side of the camera. He's not visualizing, like, you guys in general.
Yeah.
It's more, like, directed at you. That's the main thing when it comes to YouTube videos.
So visualize the ideal person.
Yeah, so your ideal client or your audience in particular. So what I did was I wrote out like my ideal student, and then all of everything I put out is directed towards talking to that person.
Yeah.
And so you could do the same thing. Just write a biography or like a short biographical sketch about it. It's kind of like the whole thing with the girl. Like, you write down your ideal girl. It's the same exact thing. And yeah, I tried to understand basically like how they're feeling, what their background was. I even gave them a name and age and all that. And you can even like draw a picture or find a picture online and then have that be your like poster child or whatever. And that's who you're talking to whenever you write anything, whenever you make videos.
Yeah, I really want it to be like RSD videos. Like, just very engaging and like how it's looking at you, like straight faced and like very natural setting, like in a city, like where he's just like talking as he's walking on the street.
Yeah.
As if it's like casual talk. Yeah.
And it feels like he's just talking with you.
Yeah.
A regular conversation.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, when you're in a studio and you're like, for everyone that follows me, and you start talking generically like that, then you start to lose them a bit.
Yeah.
Because, making it as accessible and relatable as possible is really important.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then you could also like make a website.
Right.
It's like relatively straightforward as well.
Yeah.
But YouTube channel is a good place to start.
Yeah, I want to see if I can make some money out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of the money, it'd be like from an info product, I think, of some sort.
Info product?
Info, like informational. Yeah.
Like infield in academia. What?
Yeah.
It's me sitting on a fucking desk for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some sort of informational product.
Or like coaching.
That's it. There's a lot of good content for how to do that, like a coaching business.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty common actually. Like Amplify Live, like most of the people there were coaches of some sort.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's like an up and coming sort of thing.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it's being customized.
Yeah, it's a matter of like being able to distinguish yourself from everyone else too. I mean, the goal that you have is like pretty distinguished from anything else. Like, I don't know of very many people that have that niche in particular.
Yeah. Like
the bio thing.
Yeah.
I can also send you a webinar link, and I was watching it. It's that guy from Amplify Live, but basically he talks about like how to craft a mission statement, and what you got to do is like say, I help this kind of people solve this problem and the reason why, basically. Like if you have those 3 things in place, then that's like a generic umbrella. Then he goes into more specific detail. He's like, you have to understand why their life is a living hell, like what challenges they face.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, when it comes to when people want to buy info products, it comes from the place of, like, they're in a situation that they're trying to get out of.
Yeah.
And then you're helping them through it. So if you really understand that, like, how to paint that picture,
Yeah.
then they'll trust you. Like, you'll get their trust, and then you're able to sell from there.
Yeah.
I think he said, like, if you're able to describe their problem better than they can describe it, then they think that they believe that you know the solution to it.
If you can what?
If you can describe their problem better than they can describe it in their own words,
Yeah.
then they believe that you know the solution to their problem. So actually, like, I think
Tyler definitely does that.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, RSD is really good at doing that.
Yeah.
Like, they really go into vivid detail about, like, how you're feeling, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like, I can relate to that.
Yeah, Tyler like almost like impersonates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
classic
chodes or
impersonate,
whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Really good at that.
yeah, so that's exactly what they do. Is like they'll take it from your perspective, and then you immediately trust them because, like, you're like, oh shit, like, he knows my problem. He's been through it before. He must know the solution.
Yeah.
And then you'll buy all his boot camps and all that. So
All the fucking online products.
yeah, exactly. But that's how it works, though. Like, good marketing is like that. And I think Derek is really good at marketing as well.
Yeah.
The thing he does really well.
He almost seems like he's not even marketing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like his casual vibe is so on point that
Yeah.
it feels like he's just very conversational.
And he even, like, in the talk, he even says, like, oh, I gotta do some marketing talks now, and then, like, does some talks.
Yeah.
Like 2-minute talk, and then, like, goes about renting his ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you this webinar thing because it talks about also what you want to do is describe your ideal client, but also your, like, clients you refuse to coach. And so
Refuse to coach?
yeah, so Derek does that really well.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I only want you if you're intelligent, if you're disciplined, and if you're willing to be open-minded and change. But if you're lazy and all that, then don't even bother applying.
Yeah.
By doing that, he's qualifying his customers, and he's basically, like, he's making it more exclusive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that he does really well. And then he added in the part where he emotionally engages by basically, like, lowering himself a bit, where he talked about his flaws and everything. He doesn't usually do that, but I'm pretty sure what happened is he probably talked to Bill Walsh about it, and then he got tips from him on how to improve his pitch.
Yeah.
And then he probably said, like, you should talk more about your flaws and things like that to bring yourself down to, like, the audience's level, and then, like, bring yourself back up.
Yeah.
But that's also really important that you show some flaws.
Yeah.
Because I remember I told Luke that for Vegas immersion marketing, because I thought most of it was unrelatable to most people. They thought it was really cool, but at the same time, to relate to, like, going to the table every night is kind of far-fetched for most people.
Yeah.
So I think for Luke, the best thing would be to, like, talk about his computer programming background, how he was a nerd growing up, how he got, like, bullied or whatever, and then he had to, like, work himself up. So what do you feel? So in terms of your story, what do you feel? How could you tell your story in that sort of way?
Yeah, I guess I could talk about my involvement with environmental movements, like activism, and how that made me want to pursue ecology and try to preserve the nature we have. But then go on and talk about, like, how that came from kind of, like, negative background. And I realized maybe it's not the path I want to take.
Yeah.
And now I'm still looking for different options, like different fields to engage with. realize like I'm not really in a better position than anyone else right now.
Yeah.
In terms of like where you are.
That's like what Maze was talking about, I think. Were you there for his talk?
We went there together.
Okay. For Maze's talk, yeah. Like during the Q&A part?
Yeah.
Where he was talking about, like, I asked him what distinguishes him. Oh yeah, I remember, you're sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he's basically a student.
Yeah.
Like, he's not as experienced as the other instructors. He's learning.
Yeah.
He's in that process, and so
Yeah.
I think that's pretty similar.
Yeah.
It's like the position you're in.
Yeah, I really wanted this to be like a together thing rather than me like coaching.
Yeah.
Like teaching someone what to do. I mean, I'm definitely gonna like put out videos of like what I think and what you should do in terms of like my opinions. But then I want to make this like a forum kind of vibe.
Right.
I'm also gonna like make a website where it's a forum.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna interview like professors.
Yeah, that's really
other
good.
Grad students.
Yeah, I was gonna say like making a podcast would be ideal.
Yeah.
Because like a couple of things came to mind when you're talking about that. Like number one was like Tribes is a book where he talks about essentially how you can make a tribe or community, and you can either do that by like leading the people, like what Owen does.
Yeah.
Or you can provide a space for people to talk, like Facebook.
All right.
It's like you're not necessarily telling them or like coaching them on anything. It's just like you're providing a social space for there to be a conversation. So that's like one thing. And then another thing was, I was reading this marketing book by Russell Brunson recently, and he was talking about how you can have different characters, and you can either have like the hero character where you lead people towards their destination, or you could be more like the investigator. And then it's like you're on the journey with them, and usually like the marketing or the products that they put out is more like a collection of interviews or something.
Yeah.
We're like exploring, kind of like Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
And he basically like, interviews successful people and tries to understand what success is and how to become successful. So that's a good take on it.
I also want to do another channel about skiing too. Like, I want to. So skiing is like really like especially freestyle skiing. They really emphasize having fun rather than like trying to fucking excel in the motor skills that we do. And like conquering fear is another big part of it.
Yeah.
So I really want to like make a channel. I'm not that good at skiing like compared to other people in Tahoe. But like I think what I can offer very well is like just going through that motion of like conquering fear and like doing shit I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Because most people are like on my level. Like they're not like fucking like other athletes in my team. They're like doing like fucking double backflips and shit.
Yeah.
So I think like I can relate to them very well.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
Anything that talks to that emotional side.
Yeah.
Is really powerful.
Yeah. Just me showing them like having fun with like friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like the main message of RSD in general, is that like most of the instructors started out with anxiety, but then they've come to the point where they're just out having fun. I think that's what Owen tries to emphasize, is that for him it's not even that he's amazing with girls.
Yeah.
He always talks about that. He's like, there's always guys better than me.
Yeah.
But it's just that I have way more fun than any of you guys. Yeah. And I'm probably better than most of you guys because I've been doing it for so long. Yeah. But it's not because I was gifted with the talent or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's like the main thing when it comes to skills in general that should be emphasized, is like overcoming the initial fear. Yeah. And then being able to have fun with it. You get to that point. Yeah. Because then you actually learn at an accelerated level once you start enjoying it. That's what I've noticed with some of these other guys like Garrett and Kevin. Like they actually have fun when they go out. It's not like they're forcing themselves to go out and talk to girls. Yeah. I think last night was a very good example of it. I was having fun, and I got really tired at some point. And that
I kind of got in this like trance. Usually when I'm tired, I just don't want to do anything. But then like this time, I kind of got in this weird state.
Yeah.
Where I like didn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
And just wanted to talk to people just for the sake of talking to people.
Yeah.
Just trying to like make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna like go for just to make out now.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how did last night go in general?
It was fun. So me, Nate, Brian went out. Nate like pulled after like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian and I were just like fucking like
Who's Nate?
Brian's mentor.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brian and I were just going ham, just like hugging people left and right, like trying to make out,
Mm-hmm.
like A-mugging people for fun.
Yeah.
And then we got really hungry, so we went and ate at that cafe next to Win.
Yeah.
Came back and then we just like beasted again. And then I kind of got tired, and like Brian and Nate were like gaming together, so I was like walking around by myself. Yeah, that's when I started to become like really awkward and independent, trying to be around Brian and Nate. I started like stopped trying to leech off by from them.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of felt comfortable like being by myself.
Yeah.
And I just started talking to people.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was like on an adventure
Yeah.
rather than like trying to stay with Brian and Nate.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times for me, like when I go out, if I'm actually going out for myself, then I'll
Yeah.
just go out on my own,
Yeah.
typically. Like sometimes I do like to go out with certain wings,
Yeah.
but a lot of times I just like to be alone and walk around and talk to people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel kind of restricted. I either feel obligated to stay with the person I'm with,
Yeah.
or I feel like I don't want to lose them. Like I don't want to leave them behind.
Yeah. I
And so
heard that too.
Yeah, so if I'm out on my own, then I can just do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I get like way more loose, and a lot of times like crazier shit happens when I'm alone too.
Yeah. That's true.
I've noticed, unless I'm with Kevin, then that's like the only the outlier. But yeah,
I feel like we think of Kevin as God.
yeah. I mean, he's definitely like, I don't know. He's just a good example for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I took him as an archetype for what I wanted my game to look like at the time.
Yeah.
When I was going out to clubs, and so that's why like I use him as an example a lot.
Yeah.
Him and Garrett especially too.
Yeah.
Garrett's the same sort of way. He's not as crazy, like physically crazy. He's very like under control, but he's so like verbally witty.
Yeah.
And some of the shit he says or does like is really interesting, but it's like it's funny and interesting and intriguing, but also like off the wall too.
Yeah.
And then girls just get sucked into his energy.
Yeah.
He's like very calm too, which is, and he's not very pick-uppy at all. Like
Yeah.
he just talks about whatever's on his mind.
Yeah.
Whether that's like, I mean, usually it's like funny shit, but sometimes like political stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I just noticed like a lot of these guys in particular, and then Richard, he's like another one of the guys there.
Right.
Yeah, same sort of thing. For him, he's just like a very sexual guy, and then he just like goes up and starts talking, and then next thing you know, he's like making out with some girl.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like when I go out with these guys, it doesn't feel like it's pickup necessarily. It's like us having fun.
Yeah.
And they're
their own way.
Yeah, and they're just as willing to like talk to you than they are talking to a girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes like they don't want to be bothered if they're like about to pull or something, but
Yeah.
but if you're just out in the club, they're not just gonna like not talk to you.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that happens a lot with pickup guys.
It does. Yeah.
They just want to ignore you and be like, "We're here to talk to girls."
Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ashkan's new roommate is like that.
Really.
Yeah. We went out and then he was like trying to ignore me. I was like trying to meet him and have a conversation, but I
Yeah.
could tell he was just like not wanting to have any conversation except with girls.
Yeah.
So-
Eli was kind of like that yesterday. I was like, he came out with us, and then like, he kept wandering off somewhere. Like, I just kept telling him like, "Yo, come come hang out with us.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And then like 30 seconds later, like I would lose it.
Yeah.
He's like wander off somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like an anxiety or something.
Yeah, he has a lot of anxiety.
They just want to escape and be on their own for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get that too, where I just want to be on my own. It depends on who I'm with.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I'm with people that I want to spend time with, then I'll like hang out with them.
Yeah.
Not always, but I don't know. Depends.
Nothing's always.
So how long are you here for?
I think tomorrow.
Okay.
Ryan and I were gonna like go around hotels and do some crazy stuff. Just take pictures.
Okay.
I wanted to get on that flower horse at the wind.
Oh yeah.
You know that ferry wheel?
Yeah.
No, what is that called? Is it called ferry wheel?
Like the carousel.
Yeah. No.
It's a. It's
Like
called,
the horse is like going around.
Yeah, it's a carousel.
Is it carousel?
Yeah.
I thought carousel was this.
No, that's a Ferris wheel.
Oh. Yeah. And then just fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing is pretty expensive, so that'd be a risky move.
Oh shit! You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to break it.
Yeah. I think it's like millions of dollars, so like, that'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Pretty risky.
Also, what should I guess I just wanted to meet Luke today, just to hang out. I guess I could have some value from him. I don't know what I want to ask.
Yeah, what would you ask him? I guess he'd just ask about how things are going in general and
Yeah.
just talk about that. He always has pretty interesting things to say,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, in terms of, I guess I was gonna say, like, in terms of, like, girls and dating and all that, like, what your goals are, or,
My goals.
yeah.
The thing is, like, I don't even. I compare it to Brian. I keep comparing to Brian because I've been hanging out with him a lot. You know, like, he really wants girls, like, very attractive girls. Like, girls like in Las Vegas, but then, like, I don't even want that, right? I just want to have, like, a good time with the girl. And then, like, whoever it is, even if they're not that attractive or.
Just have, like, more female energy in your life, basically.
Yeah, I just want to have like adventure with girls.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like he's more of like, oh, I just want to fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he clearly expresses that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong.
It's just a different
mindset.
life choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
To go through that, maybe. I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, it depends on the person.
Yeah, I don't think it's good or bad.
But I just remember for myself, like, when I went through it, I came to a point where I was, like, compromising my own values for the sake of, like, trying to have sex all the time. Meaning, like, I would like, ditch my friends, or I would, like, pull a girl when I knew she was subpar. Like, I could probably hang out with another girl and take a look at. I mean, when you have the option between, like, a higher quality girl and an easy lay, like, I would just take the easy lay.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, like, you learn so much more from, like, hanging out with a higher quality girl.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have sex with her,
Yeah.
you know, you can just, like, you just learn a lot from the interaction itself.
Yeah.
And even building a relationship from there.
Yeah.
So I compromised a lot of that just to get laid for that night. It was, like, very short-sighted.
That's the thing I have problem with Brian's game sometimes. It's just like, he's very, like, he says it too, like, he like hates talking to girls in the club because it's the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah.
It to a certain extent it is. So he just wants to have sex there, and that's why he goes, like, really fucking physical up front, and they're not receptive. He feels like he didn't waste a lot of fucking tons of time, like, trying to, like, get the girl to that point, wanting to be pulled.
Yeah.
And not being able to pull. So I definitely get where it's coming from, but it's not how I want my game to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely had that as well, where I was like trying to pull as quickly as possible because I knew my verbal game was that good.
Yeah.
When I was going out, so I was like, I'm just gonna try to pull quickly. But yeah, I think in the long run, for me, the best thing was just like, how can I relate to girls on a deeper level? I don't know. It is good to have the skills, not so much like a skill, but like the awareness of when you can leave with a girl or something like that.
Yeah.
Like when you've had that experience, then you have the freedom to do it whenever you want to.
Yeah.
And then you can choose to just stay there and talk to her and have a good time.
Right.
So it is good to go through that process to a certain extent.
Yeah. I think I definitely need to learn more of that.
Yeah. But you can also, it's not like you have to choose one or the other. Like you do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Or it's like you learn how to like have fun with the conversation. But then you also learn how to like move things forward effectively.
Yeah.
Like basically seeing opportunities and actually like acting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of it comes down to just like releasing from anxiety.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. It's like how to best effectively teach it. Because before it was like pretty effective when I would just tell people to go and they would just try to do it.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And most of the time they'd be able to just leave with the girl. Even before they thought they could.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best way to learn is just do it before you think you can. Kind of like putting out the product before you think it's ready.
Yeah.
It's just like go for it before you think you can, or when the interaction starts getting stale, then just try to pull, just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still do that, or do you just what do you usually do?
I definitely sometimes switch out a lot still.
What do you usually do when you start running out of things to say, or you feel like it's not really going anywhere? Yeah, I'd say just try to move it forward.
Yeah.
Like, see what you can do. Like, just be like, I'm bored, let's go do something.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we pulled that one girl. I mean, she was just, like, standing there.
Gina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all, like, just kind of bored standing there, so we could just, like, go do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's how most of pulling happens anyway. It's just, like, you just want to do something or go somewhere else.
Yeah. I guess when you told me that, I kind of went into a state where I was trying to lead girls when the interaction stopped happening to make something happen. But then I think I need to come from a frame where it's like, I'm bored, let's do something.
Yeah, I think at first it might feel like you're trying to make something happen and trying to force it.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that's okay. Because I think that's just coming from the anxiety of it. Because you haven't really, like, if you haven't experienced it very much, like if it's a novel thing, if it's new, then you're gonna have some anxiety towards it.
Yeah.
But once it becomes more familiar, then you're gonna have the attitude of like, I'm just bored, let's go do something, because you're so used to doing it.
Yeah.
And you know that you can just have fun by taking her somewhere else.
Yeah.
That it just becomes more natural to have that mindset. But for now, like, regardless of whether it feels weird or not, just go through the motion of doing it.
Yeah.
Until it feels more natural.
Yeah.
And then once it feels more comfortable, then you can choose and focus more on the way you feel. I mean, actually, you want to think about the way you feel while you're doing it, but also, like, force yourself to do it.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of that forcing that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with approaching. It's like when you first start going out, if you never force yourself to do it, you're probably not going to do it. That's I'm going to stop this recording.
like so much shit like that they say like is similar, like kind of similar to what you say, and like some of the things that could be like misinterpreted. Such as like when I asked you like what do you think about like Ozzy saying like just fake it. Like for the interaction.
Yeah.
Like that's just going through that with you.
Yeah.
I think it kind of like made more sense in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one, actually, I was thinking about that exact phrase like 2 days prior to his talk.
Yeah. Jackie said that too, actually.
Yeah. I think it's actually kind of dangerous advice to give to people,
Yeah.
like, especially if you're new to going out.
Yeah.
Just because they're going to have that like incongruent sort of thing.
Like the persona fatigue and shit.
Mm-hmm. But then if you fake it in a certain way where it's like, I think after you go out for a while, you know how to draw energy from within yourself. Like you know how to like summon it.
Yeah.
Because I do it all the time when it comes to reception stuff.
Yeah.
I think, oh shit, like I'm being really unexpressive right now, and people are finding me really boring.
Yeah.
I can tell by their reactions, and then I fake it just enough to the point where I become more engaging.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things that improved that for me was recording myself.
On the night out?
No, actually just recording myself when it came to making my video course. And,
oh, like engaging?
Yeah. Just like, or recording vlogs too.
Yeah.
And then watching it back.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, I just need to do this in order to become more charismatic.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the things was voice inflection. Like I realized that I didn't really have very many high notes in my voice.
Yeah.
It was mostly just monotone and low.
Yeah, that's what I noticed from your videos too.
Yeah. And then I understood why Derek called me an oyster.
Oyster?
Yeah, he told me that I have a personality of an oyster.
What's that mean?
I think just like shelled up and
Yeah.
not very expressive.
Yeah, I feel that too sometimes about you. I just like you feel it gives like very mysterious vibe though.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're very unfazed about anything.
Yeah, that's like one of my, when it comes to talking to girls, it can be like a strength and a weakness.
Yeah.
Because it can be a strength in the sense that it always seems like I'm not trying that hard.
Yeah. I feel like you don't give a fuck about anything in life.
So,
which you don't.
That's kind of true. I live life very recklessly. Like, I'm applying to the army the past week. I got married.
You got married.
Yeah.
God damn. How much would I have to pay to get married to me?
It'd be like, oh, you mean
AGL married?
Yeah.
AGL green card.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex is trying to get married to me again. Or not again, but like he wants to annul the divorce and then actually get married. Instead of paying me like $1,500, so I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not gonna Venmo you $1,500.
Just because I'm submitting this officer application.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's gonna look really shitty when we fail the interview if we do. So I'm probably not gonna go through with it.
Wait, actually.
Oh, I left my backpack in the office.
What backpack?
My backpack with your book in it, and then my computer.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Do you want to come up? Because I have to give you the book, right?
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well, actually, you just want to give me a ride to Greyhound after this?
So you're just gonna pack and come down?
No, it's already all packed.
Oh, okay. So just gonna go up and come down?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so you wanna wait here?
Yeah.
Alright. Back. And I could give you... Wait, so what's the... Did you give the card back? Is it this?
Yeah. Yeah, well...
And I gotta give you the fucking...
Name tag or something.
Name tag? I don't know if I have it.
I wonder if they're gonna... Yeah, try to figure out how to get the deposit back.
Because they check your ID though, right?
Probably not, but then they'll probably recognize me if I do it twice.
Just say it was your friend.
Yeah, I'll try that.
I'll be back.